My talk today is for the 4th year English specialization students of University of Distance Education. I will give this talk to help students see how to study Eng-4102. Let's begin with Eng-4102. It includes short story, English Literature 13. First, I will see the short story in Semester 1. They are a problem, how much does a man need, from nature, the California Stale, the marks of the Red Death. Now I will start the story, a problem. First, I will introduce the author Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov grew up in the small coastal town of Tendron in southern Russia. When the family moved to Moscow, he helped support them by writing comic sketches and light short stories. Although he attended medical school and became a doctor, Chekhov devoted himself to writing short stories and dramas. A diagnosis Chekhov said that a writer is not a confectioner, a cosmetic dealer, or an entertainer. He is a man who has signed a contract with his conscience and his sense of duty. Some of the Chekhov works offer a diagnosis of 19th century Russian society, showing how it trapped individuals into hopeless and unproductive lives. Other works humorously reveal universal human weaknesses. Today, he is regarded as one of the greatest modern writers and one of the most important dramatists of all time. Background for the story: money lending, an IOU or promissory note, is a promise to pay money or goods. In Russia, at the time of the story, a person could discount an IOU, selling it to a moneylender for less than full value. Later, the person could redeem the note, buying it back by a certain date. In this story, a character commits a crime by forging an IOU and selling it to a moneylender. Debt figured prominently in Chekhov's life, so it is not surprising that the subject appears in his story. In 1875, his father's business failed and the threat of imprisonment loomed. The family lost their home to a wealthy-looking man who posed as a friend. Chekhov started writing not to spread ideas, but to support his family. He continued throughout his career to pay the debts of his older brothers. About the selection. In a problem, three uncles grapple with the question of what to do about their errant nephew, Sasha. Instead of welcoming their leniency as an opportunity to mend his ways, Sasha seizes it as an opportunity to continue his irresponsible habits. With just one difference, he gains self-knowledge. He now sees how he can manipulate his relatives and avoid facing the consequences he deserves. The story raises important questions about forgiveness and responsibility. Here, you need to study thematic vocabulary. As students are discussing a problem, encourage them to use the thematic vocabulary. You might encourage them with sentences like these. 1. The adversity Sasha has already experienced in his young life has. 2. In the family council, Ivan Markovitch and the Uskov uncle debate. 3. Sasha's motive for forging the IOU is. 4. The compromise Ivan Markovitch reaches with the Uskov uncles is. Critical viewing based on this painting. What do you expect the mood of the story will be? Predict. Pretense, It is a noun, presenting a first show of something candid. It is an adjective, honest or direct. Make inferences. 1. In the story, you pay attention to the description of Sasha sitting meekly in the hall. To define the word meekly is submissively. 2. Then you need to infer about Sasha based on his behavior at this point in the story. In the story, Sasha appears to be obedient because he fulfills his uncle's request. He also seems sorry about his wrongdoings because he sits meekly and prepared to speak honestly about his actions. 3. Now you can determine whether their first impression of Sasha is accurate. Now, you should know that why Sasha is in trouble. Reading check. Sasha borrowed money on false pretense. He could not redeem the promissory note when it came due because he did not have the money. Literary analysis, characters and characterization. The Colonel does not believe in covering up another person's wrongdoing. Regardless of the circumstances, he thinks it is wrong. Ivan Markovitch, on the other hand, said that everyone makes mistakes and that Sasha has already been punished by his own conscience and by having to wait for the uncle's decision. The Colonel is a stickler for detail and discipline. Regardless of family honor or any other mitigating circumstances, he believes it is their civic duty to punish a wrongdoing. Ivan Markovitch, however, is a soft-hearted man, willing to forgive and forget. He is compassionate and optimistic, believing in the inherent goodness of people. Here, vocabulary. Edifying, adjective, instructive in such a way as to improve morally or intellectually. They had forgiven him. He was free. A gust of joy sprang up within him and sent a sweet chill to his heart. He longed to breathe, to move swiftly, to live. According to the given story, we can learn about the situation of the character, Sasha Chekhov, protagonist who cashes a false promissory note. No parental kindness, no education, criminal actions. Ivan Markovitch, Sasha's maternal uncle. He thinks that Sasha should be punished in hopes that he will reform. The Colonel, one of Sasha's paternal uncles, focus on keeping family honor, does not want to forgive Sasha, the official of the treasury. Sasha's other paternal uncle does not want the case to become public because it might hurt the family name. Themes. Protecting and sticking up for family members is more important than what people think of you. Here, blood is thicker than water. A criminal's mind may not understand the criminal-like actions that they have done. Honor. Honor is an important concept in the story because the family honor of the Chekhov is the main reason. While his three uncles are trying to decide what to do about Sasha's fault IOU, the family honor is important to the members of the Chekhov family and they do not want to see it ruined because of what Sasha did. Criminal. In the story, Sasha tries to determine whether he is a criminal or not. This is important to the story because it is arguable whether or not he is a criminal. What does the title mean? Sasha's actions cause a problem in the family. The entire story is focused around what to do about the problem. That was caused by Sasha when he forked the IOU. The uncles have problems deciding what to do with Sasha. Sasha has a problem understanding he is a criminal. Here you can study some of the questions concerning with a short story, A Problem. What is a problem by Anton Chekhov about? A Problem is a short story by Russian author Anton Chekhov. The story concerns what happens when a forked IOU note affects a family. More important than the plot is Chekhov's brilliant and rich characterizations. Chekhov explores the notion that individuals are often unsure of themselves and that there should be consequences for bad behavior. Sasha Chekhov has written a promissory note that he cannot pay, cashing at a local bank. Having forked his uncle's signature, he is in a bind. Now that the note is overdue, his uncle are debating what to do. Their dilemma is either to pay the note and save their family honor, or let Sasha face the consequences of his actions. The uncles are reactive to Sasha. Chekhov keeps the focus on Sasha's action and morals. Sasha is portrayed as not exactly caring what happens to him. Facing his uncles in prison or being sent to Siberia are all alternatives that he is facing. But his attitude is one of the resignation. One of the uncles, Ivan Markovitch, wants to forgive Sasha and save their family's honor. Another uncle, the colonel, whose name is on forgery, believed that paying the debt would be a mistake. When Sasha, he is finally freed from blame, his first reaction is to go and have a drink with his friends. It is only after remembering that he has no money that he mood sink. He then asks his uncle Ivan Markovitch to loan him 100 rubles. In A Problem, compare and contrast the characters of Ivan Markovitch and the colonel using details from the story. In this classic short story, family members are convened to talk about the fate of Sasha Chekhov, who has presented a first promissory note at the bank. The family needs to decide whether to bail him out or not. From the beginning, Ivan Markovitch, Sasha's uncle, is presented as kind-hearted and taking the side of Sasha. Note how he persuades the rest of the family to side with him. The maternal uncle, kind-hearted Ivan Markovitch, smokes smoothly, softly, and the tremor in his voice. He began with saying that youth has its rights and its peculiar temptations. If Sasha's error bordered upon crime, they must remember that Sasha had received practically no education. He had been expelled from the high school in the 5th class. He had lost his parents in early childhood, and so had been left at the tenderest age, without guidance and God, benevolent influences. Ivan Markovitch is that characterized as a very understanding, kind and gentleman who wants a family to help Sasha and save their family honor. On the other hand, the colonel argues that saving Sasha would be an unpardonable mistake. Note how he is presented through his argument about what they should do. That's what I say. Whatever may be the motives for screening a scoundrel, whoever he may be, and helping him to escape punishment, it is contrary to law and unworthy of a gentleman. It's not saving their family honor, it's civic cowardice. Thus, whilst the colonel believes in family honor, He also takes a very tough line with Sasha, arguing that bailing him out would be illegal and not the behavior of a gentleman. He is presented as unsympathetic and a disciplinarian who believes that rules should be followed rigidly with no mercy shown. Another question. What is the theme in the story A Problem, written by Anton Chekhov? The theme of A Problem by Anton Chekhov is that people will not change their pet habits unless they have paid for them. This passage from the Bible can be a statement of theme. And God saw that the weakness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Sasha's friends had fought promissory note, but they have managed to repay the note before it comes due, so that the person whose name they have fought does not know. However, in Sasha's case, the promissory note has come due and Sasha has no money. So before the authorities handle this situation, there is a family meeting how to decide what to do. Most of the family members are worried about the reputation of the family and do not wish to have any scandal. Consequently, the colonel, who wishes to let Sasha take his punishment, is outvoted and his debt is paid for him. When Ivan Markovitch informs Sasha's uncle that the debt will be paid by the family, he is relieved. However, no sooner has he learned this than he asks his uncle for 100 rubles, threatening to present another false note tomorrow. Weakly, the uncle gives him the 100 rubles. Sasha notes, "Now I see that I am a criminal. Yes, I am a criminal. He has not reformed because he has had no punishment." I will end my talk here. I hope you will understand the plot of the short story, the character analysis of the short story, and the theme of the short story. Good luck for your exam.